Hey guys, welcome to the film room. The road to the Final Four is upon us. Game 1 just took place in all 4 series, and so we're going to recap each game and talk about what happened. The 2 vs 7 matchup is Panathinaikos versus Maccabi. Now Maccabi is on the road, and at the beginning of this game, Panathinaikos came out and looked really good. They took control from the beginning of the game, and they had really balanced scoring from inside and out. You're going to see this play where they get into a ball screen with Lessort, and because Maccabi was hedging ball screens, it allowed Lessort to get the ball and get downhill and do what he does best. Now late in the third quarter, you're going to see one of the best blocks that's happened in the playoffs so far. Maccabi looks like they're going to get out and get an easy transition bucket on this great pass, and Kalasakis comes from the weak side and pins it off the glass, then gets the rebound and gets fouled. But down the stretch in the fourth quarter, Maccabi stepped up on the road and proved to be too much. They were getting out in transition, and Colson stepped up and made some big baskets. They ran a down screen for him to get this catch and shoot 3, which he hit, and it was very well contested. And then a few possessions later, he comes down and makes another big play, scoring in a one-on-one isolation situation. But Panathinaikos didn't go away quietly. Grant came down in a situation where they really needed a bucket and got this tough and one that made it a one-possession game, but this was the possession that sealed the deal. As these guys got tangled up right here, it actually broke the play, and so they had to improvise. So they came off of this ball screen and then flipped it, which is referred to as a twist action when you screen and then rescreen. I want you to pay attention as this big flashes to the elbow, and as soon as Black gets 2 people to the ball, he knows that Nebo's going to be open on this lob, and he throws a perfect pass. And about a minute later, with the game on the line, Lorenzo Brown gets this ball screen. He attacks downhill and silences the crowd with this game winner. Now the team that's favored to win is the number 1 seed Real Madrid. They had number 8 Baskonia, and from the beginning of the game, they looked like they were in great form. They were passing the ball well, they were getting out in transition. Defensively, they were creating live ball turnovers, and it didn't really seem at any point during the game that the outcome was in question. They seem to be playing their best basketball right now because their chemistry and their ball movement is on point. This possession with the baseline drive, forcing help, kicking it out to the wing, and then swinging it one more for a rhythm catch and shoot 3 is a great example of how well they're playing together. Sergio Yui is controlling the tempo, and he is leading this team, and when he's making shots like this coming off ball screens heavily contested, the defense is in big trouble. But just in general as a team, they're making the right decisions. They've got great spacing, and it's allowing them to get these rhythm catch and shoot 3s that they're all confident to knock down. But the play of the game was on this transition bucket. Now as the ball gets pushed, you're going to notice they have a 4-on-2 situation, and this defender has to stay on this side because of numbers. So Campasso knows all he needs to do is get this defender to guard him, and he's going to have a wide open dunk to the man running on his left. But the best part was he wanted to make sure that Marcus Howard didn't steal this ball, so he actually went with a no-look pass. But one of the best series so far is the 4-5 matchup between Barcelona and Olympiacos. Now late in the first quarter, there was this really nice play, and I'm going to break it down for you. As William Goss comes off of this ball screen, he knows he's going to get a hard hedge. And the reason that's significant is because he knows he's going to get 2 to the ball. So he gets it out of his hands quickly to walk up, and now both of these defenders who are left are responsible for their matchup, and that leaves this pass to the big for an easy dunk. Now this game was within a few possessions from start to finish, and there weren't really any big runs that took place for one team or the other. They both were running great sets and getting open shots for multiple guys on the court, and it was just good basketball to watch. But the thing that separated Olympiacos was the guard play. You're going to see this tough bucket by Isaiah Cannon, but it was Nigel Williams-Goss that was so difficult to guard, and I think that the matchup between him and Ricky Rubio is going to be the matchup that determines this series. I would really pay attention to see if they switch this matchup and put Rubio on somebody else, because he's had his hands full so far, and I think that this is the matchup that Olympiacos is going to try and take advantage of. In my personal opinion, I think that this is the series to watch, and I can promise you Barcelona is not going to go down without a fight, and I would not be surprised if this goes to a 5-game series. And we've already had an overtime thriller between number 3 Monaco and number 6 Fenerbahce. Now you have to keep in mind that Monaco has the new all-time leading scorer in Euroleague history, Mike James, on their team, and they got off to a great start and were in full control of this game early. But the highlight of the night was when Nick Kalathis came down at the end of a very strong third quarter and hit this tough 3 at the buzzer. Akobo had a really good night and actually finished with 19 points, and one of those buckets that he hit was this tough step back 3 in the early fourth quarter. And then late in the fourth, it seemed like nobody could get a stop. They were both just trading buckets with each other, and it seemed like both teams found some things that they liked offensively, whether it was one-on-one mismatches or finding ways to get to the paint and kicking it out for rhythm 3s, but it was definitely an offensive performance down the stretch. Once they got into overtime, Beko started to distance themselves by hitting a couple tough shots and playing through Nigel Hayes-Davis. But the silencer of the game came with about a minute left in overtime. Nigel goes to set this ball screen and he flips it, and the significance of that is it's going to make this big late on his coverage, which allows the ball handler to get downhill and forces pressure on this help defender to feel like he has to come in and stunt, and that left Nathan Sestina wide open in the strong side corner for this catch and shoot 3 that he buried. Let me know in the comment section if you want me to do a recap on the rest of the Final Four. Thanks for coming through. We'll see you next time in the film room.